Roger, was that straight sets win as easy as the scoreline indicated?
Well, I think I was pretty much in control of the match today. Started well, and felt like if I get my serve going, it's going to be tough for Jonas, because I'll always have a look into his service games, and that's a little bit what happened. So yeah, I think it was a good match from my side.
Did your level improve from the first match?
Well, again, different opponent. Jonas plays much more flat, more aggressive, takes the ball early and everything. So it's a bit of a different match, But maybe a bit more consistent, especially on the serve. Didn't give him so many chances like I did against Pau in the first round. So I think it's a bit of an improvement, yes.
Is it a little bit more challenging for you to play one of the oldest guys on the circuit who's got a few more tricks up his sleeve than the younger guys, maybe?
Absolutely. I mean, I was like playing against either youngsters or oldies, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, you're always a bit worried because he's got a lot of experience. He's definitely not going to back down from a physical challenge as well. You'll be in for a fight if it's going to get tough, and when it gets close, he's got the experience. So yeah, you want to have the distance, and that was I was able to do. But yeah, it's always fun to play against Jonas, actually.
Roger, it's always obviously one game at a time, but when you hear about someone like Djokovic playing so well, losing only 10 games in 2 matches, and he's in your little section, does that interest you at all? Do you pay attention to that?
Well, I mean, I didn't see anything of Adelaide, so of course I'll follow him a little bit more close, but today I hardly seen anything except the first 3 games, and I saw maybe 3 games of the last match, so I'll probably try to see more the next match he plays. He's definitely playing well, he's confident and everything, but I've got other things to worry about in the next round. I don't know who I'm playing yet, but it looks like Eugenie, and he upset Raf at the US Open, and I've played him several times, and I know what a great player he is, so I'm going to make sure I get through that one first.
Any other English questions?
Roger, there was a bit of banter at the end there with the TV guys. When you watch back tapes of yourself, do you take much notice of what the commentators say about you?
Well, usually we get matches or tapes without commentary, so I hear the commentary of other matches and never of mine, so...
Are you aware of how, the adulation in their commentary?
What means adulation?
They're almost drooling over how good you are.
Well, I mean, I hear it then when you guys tell me. That's really the only time I hear all the compliments, and I read sometimes, the papers and stuff, but not the commentary so much, so I mean, it's nice. I've gotten really many compliments over the years, and many of them been really nice. Of course, appreciated the most from fellow players or former great players, and then you have the experts too. They say some nice things as well, so I had to get used to it, because in the beginning it was tough when I haven't won a slam yet and people are saying what a great player I am. I was like, first let me have results, then you can say it, so by now it's, I guess, justified a bit more, and I can take it, with a smile, so which is nice.
Never embarrassing?
Well, sometimes. Like the sexiest guy, stuff, so.
Do you read as much as perhaps you used to about yourself?
Yeah, probably read about the same, but I see it from a different perspective now, where it would influence me much more in the beginning of my career. I felt I was put under pressure, or I felt I was asked for too much in the beginning, whereas now I read it for fun, and I like reading articles about other players actually, and not so much about me. Yeah, and TV is always fun, so yeah, I read it quite a bit. Yeah.
Well, considering the heat yesterday and the heat policy, and so it came under question, the fairness of that, and also just the well-being of the players. Do you think that's something that needs to be reviewed and looked at?
Well, I mean, guys didn't go in court after that. I guess you're just the unlucky guy if you have the match at 11, because then it's just not hot enough yet. But I mean, I kind of agree with the heat rule, because I mean, walking around in the streets, I think is fine, but going out on the court, the court gets so hot, like you can't believe, so I mean, it's not only the heat from the sun, but especially from underneath, and this is what's really, you know, killing the players. I think, you know, the feet are just on fire, and on top of that, we have maybe 2 events a year that are that hot. So I think it's okay that you have a heat rule. You know, I mean, it's an advantage for all the players. So.
Fair. Some people have to, if they've started, they have to continue on that kind of heat, where other people don't have to. If that's
well, maybe they should give the choice to both players, you know, if they want to continue. And if both players agree that they don't want to continue, maybe they can make an arrangement of this kind of way. But at the same time, I mean, look, we need to be fit as well. Got to bite the bullet sometimes, so that's what happened yesterday.
Roger, the question of Hawkeye, I know you're not a huge fan, but Jonas raised a question on court, and Andy's spoken about it as well, of officials deciding not to make decisions when they would be normally making those decisions because they feel they should wait for the player to make the call or rely on technology. Is there a danger of the officials standing back when they should be actually taking the lead?
Well, I mean, I'm not a big fan of it, you know. I mean, I think it's nonsense anyway in the first place, you know, but yeah, now they can hide even more behind these calls, that's for sure, you know. But look, I mean, that's really our problem, you know. Here I think it's especially tough to call because you don't see any marks, you know, after they bounced, whereas usually, you know, you get to really get a good idea when you hit it right after. You can see a mark, you know, it's fresh and everything, but here you don't for some reason because of the surface paint or so, and so it makes it really hard for us. And then of course we would like to be able to rely a little bit on umpires as well, but look, they tend to now just let us do the work, you know, the tough stuff, you know, let us get embarrassed basically. So I mean, it's, look, it's how it is, and the 2 challenges there to be used, so might as well use it sometimes.
Last few English questions, please.
How would you assess Etienne de Villiers' first year in running the ATP, and how badly did it need someone like him to come in and shake it up?
Well, I think it was good for a change. I think Mark Miles definitely did some good things, you know. I didn't know him well enough, to be honest, but he was there for a very long time, and I guess eventually, you know, it's also time for a change, especially when all the players are kind of like, well, we've kind of seen him now, and I think we've had enough of him, and so then it's time for him to leave as well, you know. So I think that moment was maybe really due to come. So I think Etienne has had a very interesting year. He's really raised many questions, and you know, he's gotten some answers, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what he does in the future. It's definitely also raised more awareness from the players' side, you know. We want to be more involved in decision making as well, and I think the group of guys we are right now, we're also very much interested in what's going to happen with the game in the future. So I think we're at a very interesting stage right now. There are things we're trying out, like Hawkeye, or some things are now pushed through all the way, but then we have you know, the round robin. I think we'll see how we go from there, you know. I think the players don't like it that much. Fans will see, but from my end, you know, I'm not a round robin guy, you know, and I'm not playing one of these events, so I'm happy about that this year. So I hope they're not going to be around in 08, but look, I'm not the only guy playing on tour, so there's other players as well who have to agree with those things, and I think it's going to be interesting to see where the game goes from here, really.
Roger, are you in favour of a move for a new big event in Madrid, wreaking havoc with the traditional clay court circuits? The big combined event in Madrid.
Well, I mean, it's all speculation at the moment, you know. I'm for that actually tournaments move more to Asia than to in Europe or in the States, you know. I think Asia is a very important market. I always loved playing over there, you know, so I don't really care where it goes in Asia, but I think it's important to have big events there, you know. I mean, we have the Australian Open, but that's all the way down here, you know, but we need something in Asia as well, so it's good we have the Masters Cup, but when that goes maybe to somewhere else, you know, it's good to have maybe a Masters Series over there. That's my main concern, and if Madrid gets an indoor-outdoor event, really care seriously, because as long as we have good events, you know, that's what we care about, and that the fans attend and they enjoy it, so that's what's important.